get started, and I'd like to call our meeting to order. And at this time, we have item A on the agenda, and that's to approve creation of job position titled Transitional District Advisor and job description.
Okay, I'll jump in there. The name and part of the job description, we actually got from Henderson County a few years ago. They did something similar with their superintendent role and offering some assistance. And so that's what this position is. It's Transitional District Advisor with the job description provided for you all.
Okay. And everyone, have you had a chance to review that job description?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this job position title is in reference to, we met last week to discuss moving forward with our superintendent search. We had the honor of having Regina to join us for that. She is our school board attorney. And she kind of went over some scenarios with us as far as when we approved all of these things that's on our agenda today, that later on in this meeting, we found out that we couldn't hire a superintendent because we have two outgoing board members the end of this year, and we were not to hire a superintendent between, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the November election date and January 1st, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So all of this is kind of new to us as a board because we've always had a superintendent to retire end of the year to hire someone new on July 1, which was what we were going to do, but we found out we could not have two superintendents since Contessa was not leaving until November the 30th. So all this has kind of reset our timeline and what we are doing moving forward with that timeline and superintendent search committee members and their meetings. So anyway, with that being said, for us to hire on July 1, we're going to have to put a superintendent in that position, and at that time, Contessa would have to step down as her position as superintendent, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But her retirement date would not be until November 30th. So all of this kind of giving backstory into why we're here today. And last week, as I said, we met with Regina. She went over a lot of the scenarios with us, and we just want to make sure that moving forward with our legal counsel that we are doing everything the way that it needs to be done. My dog just came in.
This reminds me of COVID.
She just opened the door. I did that. My 100-pound golden retriever back here. She's got separation anxiety, I think. But anyway, so moving forward, everyone's had a chance to review this job description, or job posting, and job description. So I said posting, job position, and job description. So if anybody has any other questions, you can ask those now. Otherwise, I'll need a motion to approve the creation of job position entitled Transitional District Advisor and Job Description. Make a motion. I have a motion by Ms. Ford. Second. Second by Ms. Yance. All in favor of approving the creation of the Transitional District Advisor position, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item B, this is to consider amendment of the 26-27 salary schedule to include the position of Transitional District Advisor and add that position salary as presented.
I think Preston Browning, possibly is he in the room?
Yep, I'm right here.
There we go, okay.
Yeah, so all this is an amendment to the 26-27 salary schedule that was approved in March. And the only change on it would be that position and the salary for it. And it was on the portal. Any questions on that?
Okay. Anybody have any questions regarding that? If not, I'll need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion of Mr. Porter. And I'll second. Ms. Young will second, okay. All in favor of considering the amendment to the salary schedule to include the transitional district advisor position salary, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. So item C is to consider, and the rest of these are what we had, I think, previously. Actually, not this one, the next one, sorry. This item C is to consider effective and expiration dates for the transitional district advisor position.
Okay, so this is noting the dates, being that the effective start date would be July 1, 2026, and the expiration date for that position would be November 30th, 2026.
Any questions on that? All right, and I'll need a motion to approve that. I make a motion to approve it. I have a motion by Ms. Ford. And I'll second. All in favor of considering the effective and expiration dates for the transitional district advisor position, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Okay, now these next items are things that we had actually approved before, but since we have come to the determination about the hiring of the superintendent on July 1, we have to go back and kind of ratify those. So the item D, these are kind of lengthy motions. I'm going to read those aloud. Item D is to consider Contessa Orr's revised letter of retirement dated March 27th, 2026, changing her retirement effective November 30th, 2026 to her resignation from position of superintendent, which will be effective June the 30th, 2026, with continued employment with the district in an alternate position from July 1, 2026 to November 30th, 2026, at a salary equivalent to the current salary, which we just approved on the salary schedule. That's a lot of things.
You all have a copy of my resignation letter attached to this agenda item, and just again reiterating that it would be resigning from my position as superintendent June 30th, 2026.
And then retirement totally November 30th, 2026.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And then by approving this would allow us to hire the new superintendent effective July 1.
Yes.
Any questions on this? If not, I will get a motion to consider the revised letter.
I make a motion, we accept Contessa's revised letter.
I have a motion by Mr. Porter. Second. Second by Ms. Yance. All in favor of considering the revised letter from Contessa Orr, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item E, this is also lengthy. It is to consider ratification of the board's prior action taken on February 19th, 2026, declaring the vacancy in the position of superintendent effective July 1, 2026, approving the utilization of an in-house selection process, and approving the appointment of a board designee as process lead for the superintendent search process.
So this one basically just, without just going back over it all, it just validates the prior action that you all took on February 19th for each of these items.
we had already approved a timeline back in February, but due to the circumstances that we have been meeting on and figuring out a different process, it just modifies our timeline to where we can still hire a superintendent effective July 1. So there's a few dates that have kind of changed a little bit, but the rest of the timeline stayed the same. Is that correct, Ms. Ward?
That's correct. The things that changed were the screening committee orientation, that training for them, and then their review of candidates and recommendations to the board, and then your subsequent reviewing and interviewing for that, announcing the selection in May the 21st. That working.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make a motion to consider the modification. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Porter. All in favor of considering the modification of the superintendent selection process timeline, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. So now we are down to item G, and this is to consider the approval of a pipeline easement to Atmos Energy Corporation.
Thank you, Chairman Rager, board members. So this is the approval of a pipeline easement. If you notice on Highway 181 north behind the high school, they've been doing some work. A piece of our land is a part of that project. And so this is approval for them to use that property and to grant them an easement. Again, it is pending approval by KDE. So we will not sign off anything until everything goes to KDE for their final approval. It will come back to us for our signature, but today we are beginning that process by approving the pipeline easement to Atmos Energy, and I would recommend that the board approve the pipeline easement to Atmos Energy Corporation, again pending the approval by KDE.
Okay. I make a motion to approve. Second by Ms. Ford. All in favor of approving the pipeline easement to Atmos Energy, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And item H is to approve the BG1 related to the Atmos Energy Corporation pipeline easement as presented.
And as a part of that easement, we do have to have a BG1, so this is to approve the BG1 that goes along with that project. That will also be sent to KDE for their approval, and I recommend that the board approve the BG1 related to the Atmos Energy Corporation project.